We welcome all of those of you joining us around the country here on Fox. It's Game 7 of the National League Championship Series. We're just underway. Juan Pierre on an 0-2 pitch. Tripled down the right field line. He's at third with nobody out, and it's strike one to Luis Castillo. Castillo only 5 of 24 in the series with an RBI. Ramirez at third, Carros at first, tucked in, playing even with a bag in case Castillo tries to bunt. The middle infield conceding the run. 0-2.
Watch the location of the 0-2 pitch right down the middle. Sammy Sosa going to slip on the wet grass out there as he tries to adjust to get this ball, and Pierre can fly.
0-2 to Castillo. And a roller foul. Kerry Wood, the #1 strikeout pitcher in the major leagues this season. Struck out 266 batters in 211 innings.
We talked to Damian Miller about Kerry Wood, and he'll tell you that the key to Wood's success is his slider. If he's throwing his sliders for strikes and they're nasty, it makes his fastball that much better. But he's got to be able to throw the slider for a strike.
Fly ball into short left field. Alou charging hard. He's got it, and Pierre will stay put. One away. Let's take a look at the Florida Marlins batting order under their 72-year-old manager, Jack McKeon. It's brought to you by State Farm. Pierre, Castillo have already come to the plate. Ivan Rodriguez coming up. Miguel Cabrera in right, Derek Lee at first, and Mike Lowell at third. Ladder third to Jeff Conine. Alex Gonzalez at shortstop. And 14-game winner Mark Redmond on the mound.
What a great jump on that ball by Moises Alou on the ball that Castillo hit. He plays him shallow and the other way, much like the ball that he hit into the crowd in last night's ball game. But he knows Castillo cannot hit it over his head to left field.
What a postseason it's been for Pudge Rodriguez. 15 RBIs during the postseason so far. First pitch breaking ball swung on a miss. Pudge Rodriguez at 15 RBIs, tying a Marlin franchise record in the postseason with Moises Alou from 97. 9 runs batted in this series. Ball bounces up there. Pierre started to come, and he slammed on the brick.
Whoa, what a great play by Damian Miller right there. That is a nasty slider in the dirt. He has to literally get up, move away, and then try to keep his body in front of that ball. Pierre had a great jump, but realized that he has the speed to be able to stop and get back to third. Hurry up. That is a tremendous block by Miller.
1-1 to Pudge Rodriguez. Swing a foul ball back. Perry got away with one in. Something's got to give in this at bat. Opponents against Kerry Wood this season with runners in scoring position hit 157, lowest in the major leagues. Pudge Rodriguez in the postseason with runners in scoring position is hitting .533.
After Kerry Wood threw that bad slider in the dirt and Miller blocked it, that's going to give him enough confidence to throw it out there again.
And a fastball in on Rodriguez there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Al, what do you throw here?
Well, he's thinking in line with you, Pudge is, because he doubled up inside. The Cubs pitchers have done that a lot with doubling up. Doubling up is a lot of times an 0-2 pitcher trying to show him inside. He doubled up inside. Here's another one in. Pudge is actually looking away and he's fighting off the ball inside. And that third fastball in again was thrown because of that previous fastball being not in enough, but Pudge is still late on it.
The only place that Pudge has really hurt the Cubs in this series are fastballs away. Throw the slider away off the plate and you get the strikeout.
1-2. Again, a breaking ball in the dirt. The Marlins have not scored in the opening inning in this series. The Cubs have outscored Florida in the first inning 12-0.
Kerry Wood, we said basically a two-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider. Does have a curveball, doesn't throw it very often. Has a lot more confidence in the slider.
And a fastball in that almost hit Rodriguez. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he could go a couple ways here. With Pierre at third, with 1 out, throwing a breaking ball down off the plate with an aggressive hitter who wants the RBI isn't a bad pitch. And if it's a ball, you got the double play set up.
3-2. With a breaking ball that stayed up and in on Rodriguez, and we'll do it again.
Al, he's having trouble with location of that slider right now. He's thrown a few of them in the dirt when he didn't want to. He hung that one. So far, his slider is not breaking the way he wanted to, and we talked to Damian Miller about that. He's got to have a good, sharp breaking slider that he can control in order to be effective.
Fastball in, and it's ball 4 to Pudge Rodriguez. Well, we had a wild game here last night, to say the least, and Steve Lyons for the Cubs. How important is it for them? Is it more important for them to get an early lead to shake off what happened here?
Well, no question. They're the team that walks away worrying about last night's result from the game. The Florida Marlins will walk away all happy about it. They got to be able to get that game out of their mind, get ready to play this one.
Al Leiter, you have pitched in a 7th game in the postseason of a '97 World Series. What do these guys have to think about doing to win for their respective club?
Well, to not think exactly what you just said. They have to think about making pitches. And we've talked an awful lot about executing. And it's not only executing for the pitchers to execute pitches, it's the entire ball game. You saw last night with 5 outs to go, you have to play through 27 outs. Each and every player out here has to realize from the very first pitch to the 27th out, you have to execute.
And right now, a perfect example of that. The leadoff triple by Juan Pierre. And he's still standing there with 1 away in the inning. Rodriguez now at first, and the 20-year-old Miguel Cabrera behind in the count at 0-2.
Interested to see what he does with Cabrera 0-2 to a fastball down the middle to Pierre 0-2.
Another pitch in the dirt and another beautiful block by Damian Miller. He's already saved that run at third a couple of times in this game already.
Now, this is such a tough job to do, too. Watch the ball bounce back towards Miller. That ball's running to your right as a catcher, but you know when it hits the dirt, it'll bounce back because of the spin of the slider. That's a pitch that no one will swing at. Kerry Wood has to throw that closer to the strike zone to get people to swing at that pitch.
Foul of the third baseline. Pierre had a duck underneath it.
Oh, look out down there. Juan Pierre's had an eventful first couple outs of this ball game. Of course, that's why you take your lead off in foul territory. If the ball hits you, you are not out.
In the air, deep left center field, and the 20-year-old Cabrera has given the Florida Marlins a 3-0 lead in the opening inning. An 0-2 pitch went for the triple. A 1-2 pitch goes for the home run.
You can hear a pin drop in this stadium right now, Tom. 20 years old, started the season in Double-A. Where's the location of the pitch? He wanted it up. That was down around his ankles, and he golfed it out of here. Wasn't that bad a pitch. It was not where Miller wanted it, but that thing was off his shoe tops when he hit it out of here.
Sometimes we pitchers or players in general don't like to give credit, and that was a good pitch. Whatever you're trying to do, that's an ankle-high fastball on the inner third of the plate, and he golfs it out. We've been talking an awful lot about Cabrera. This guy is going to be special. He is some kind of player.
They didn't call him up until June, his very first game. He hit a walk-off home run in a Florida Marlins win. And here in the first inning, Game 7 of the League Championship Series, Cabrera with a 3-run blast to left center field. Ball one to Derek Lee. You saw the note, 20 home runs. A new league championship series record.
Cabrera probably just young enough to not realize the magnitude of the situation that he's in. He's just out there having fun. Started the season in Double-A. Had no idea he'd be playing in the National League Championship Series.
1-2 to Derek Lee.
Ozzie Guillen says that he is the type of player, especially when he fills out a little bit. He's a long, lanky kid right now. He says he reminds him or thinks he can be very similar offensively to Manny Ramirez.
League off swinging on the slider down and away. First strikeout for Wood, 2 gone. Prior to this year, 7 league championship series had gone to a Game 7, with the home team winning 5 of the 7 games. However, the momentum in this series clearly has swung to the Marlins, who are trying to come back from a 3-1 deficit. 4 LCS teams prior to this year fought back from 3-1 down to force a Game 7. And 3 of the 4 teams won Game 7, which is what the Marlins are trying to do here tonight. Last accomplished by the Atlanta Braves in 1996.
Well, those statistics are all great, but I guarantee those guys on the field, Cubs that is, they're not thinking of the stuff, especially at least the negative thoughts. Still got to get back into it and execute and play small ball and do the things you need to do to get back into this game.
One of the interesting things about this ball game today is that Jerry Crawford, the home plate umpire, is known as a hitter's umpire. Already talked about Mark Redmond and what he has to do. He does not throw the ball hard. He moves the ball in and out. Needs to be able to expand the strike zone. Not going to be able to do that with Crawford behind the plate.
2-1 to Lowell. Slider swung on a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In 32 starts during the regular season, Kerry Wood allowed 9 runs in the first inning all year. Cabrera hitting his 3rd home run of this league championship series, his 3rd home run overall in the playoffs. Got off to the terrible start, 0 for 9 to begin the division series, has been wearing it out ever since. 3-2.
We're talking about getting into the whole psyche here. This isn't just a 1-run lead, it's a 3-run lead. And the whole thing about what the Cubs are dealing with and having been up 3-1 and now having to go to a Game 7. And the Marlins having this whole, why are we here and why should we play and all the stuff Jack McKeon's saying, this is absolutely going to relax these guys even more.
Swing and a miss by Lowell. But the crowd at Wrigley Field stunned in the opening inning on a 3-run homer by Miguel Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera, 3-run home run in the top of the first. Now Dusty Baker's team comes to bat in the home half of the inning. This lineup presented by State Farm. Kenny Lofton in center, Mark Rezolanic at second, Sammy Sosa in right, Moises Alou in left, Aramis Ramirez at third, Eric Karros at first, the latter third of Alex Gonzalez, Damian Miller, and Kerry Wood against 14-game winner Mark Redmond. Redmond getting his 3rd postseason start. He's yet to win a game, but has pitched very, very well.
Well, you know what he's going to do from his first game in this series. Away, occasionally bust you in. Lots of change-ups and curveballs, and he doesn't mind pitching behind in the count. He generally is behind in the count. He's a nibbler.
Quickly 0-2 to Lofton, who's had a fabulous series. 10 hits and 27 at-bats, has scored 8 runs. Fouled away, and it remains 0-2. Talked about the Cubs in the opening inning. 12 runs they have scored so far in the first frame in this series. And Lofton a big reason why.
There has to be someone on that Cubs bench, a leader, that can talk to this Cubs team about staying within themselves right here and not trying to do too much too soon. A 3-run deficit can lead you right into what Mark Redmond wants you to do as a hitter. Get you over anxious and get you to start thinking about pulling the ball to try to hit it out of the park. That will kill the Cubs if they're thinking that way.
2-2 to Lofton. Lofton a solid series in the division series against Atlanta. But we mentioned he has been sensational here in the LCS. Good at bat by Lofton. Fell behind 0-2 and now he's run the count full.
Sometimes you look at the way Mark Redmond pitches, and we saw a brilliant effort out of him. It's like he doesn't want to throw a strike.
Bounce to the right side. Castillo, as sure-handed as there is in the National League, throws out Kenny Lofton. It is just a beautiful autumn night. 57 degrees. The wind was blowing out about 15 miles per hour during batting practice. Balls were flying out of here on the Waveland and Sheffield Avenues, but pretty quiet right now. A little bit of wind to speak of blowing out towards right field. Anything hit low like Cabrera hit is going to go, blowing in or blowing out.
You know, getting back to what you said, Steve, about it looks like he doesn't want to throw strikes. You know, there's different types of pitchers, but if you have a fastball that's below what's considered below average, and Redmond has that, you have to pitch, and you can't get away with as many mistakes. The mistakes are balls that are out over the plate. If you throw 93 or better, as a result of that velocity, you get away with mistakes. So he has to hit the corners, and therefore it looks like he's nibbling.
A guy like Kerry Wood will get hitters to swing at bad pitches. A guy like Mark Redmond wants a lot of his pitches to be called strikes or get them to chase pitches out of the strike zone.
Base hit in the left field by Mark Rezzolano. Woodstock out there.
There's probably more people out there than there were at Woodstock. More people out there than there are in here. It's amazing.
Is that a Kerry Woodstock?
How about that? Now Sammy Sosa. And there is strike. Sammy, the first 8 games of his career in the postseason without a home run, only 1 run batted in. Here during the LCS, a pair of home runs, 6 batted in. Swung the bat very, very well. Not looking to hammer everything into left field. Steve, you talked about it last night, going the other way after he got down a couple of strikes.
Well, when Sammy became a really, really good hitter was 4 or 5 seasons ago when he learned to hit the ball the other way. He used to be dead pull. Thought that he didn't have to pop to go the other way. Took him a while to learn. When he started driving the ball into the opposite field gap and saw the balls go out of the park, the light went off and said, now I can do that.
2-1. The other way in the right field. Cabrera over to get it. Well, you just can't say enough about Miguel Cabrera. Talked a little bit about him already. He's already hit the home run in the game. But for those of you that have not been with us through this series, this young man came up through their system as a shortstop. He moved over to third base in the minor leagues this year. 2 days before they brought him to the big leagues, they said, get out into left field and do the best you can because that's where you're going to play when we bring you up. They did that, and then Mike Lowell went down after getting hit with a pitch which broke his hand. Cabrera came back into third. And in this series, he is playing right field for the first time ever. Ball 1 to Moises Alou. And there are a lot of times you don't ask a veteran player to do that. And they're asking a kid who just turned 20 to do it.
Yeah, isn't that the way the game's changed? You can ask a young kid to do it. You can't ask a veteran to do it.
2-0 on Alou.
They had the conversation with Jeff Conine about that very thing. Conine said, I do feel better in left field, when they wanted to get Lowell back into the lineup at third. So they said, Cabrera, you'll play right.
Fly ball pretty well hit. Right center field. Cabrera going back to the wall, and it'll end the inning. One hit, one left. One inning. Down here in game 7. Marlins lead 3-0. 3-0 ball game. Marlins come to bat against Kerry Wood here in the top half of the second inning. And Jeff Conine looks at a strike. Juan Pierre led off the game with a triple, a 1-out walk to Ivan Rodriguez, and then Miguel Cabrera hit his 3rd home run in this LCS, which, by the way, is a league championship series record for home runs by a rookie. Cabrera with 3 of them. One and two to Conine, and fouled out of play.
A fastball inside. I was actually thinking the second pitch was a curveball. He's been throwing a lot of fastball sliders.
Well, this crowd was jumping, and Dusty Baker has talked a great deal about the importance of his team getting the crowd and keeping the crowd into the game. They are very quiet right now. A rocket that Wood knocked down, reaching behind him. It goes to Miller, who throws it into right field. We saw Kerry Wood make that exact same play during the division series. Took a shot at it again, but it hit off the glove and rolled into foul territory.
Yeah, that ball bounced, Tommy. This one didn't, did it? That's a line drive right back at Wood. He almost goes behind his back, and then look, Miller. Miller reacts to it. This was almost one of the most amazing plays you'll ever see. He comes up there, bare hands it. Wow. Just going behind my back.
Conine shaken up after banging his knee or his shin into the bag. There you see the hole in the pants right around the knee area.
Conine, I think, was just trying to avoid some type of collision down there with Eric Karros. See, when the throw's coming in, Karros leaning back in towards Jeff Conine to try to make a play, and Conine, you know, really did a nice job of avoiding maybe a very serious collision between the two.
During the division series, this was a one-hopper that Wood reached out and got.
The one-hopper behind the back, Olay, throw him out. Game cannot be that easy. And then the line drive off the bat of Conine. He tries to do the same thing, which is, you know, he is not hot dogging at all. He's doing whatever he can to get his glove on the ball. And he falls so violently off to the left side of the mound, it's easier for him to reach back that way.
The only guy I can remember that made that play with any kind of regularity, if there is such a thing for that kind of play, was the MVP of the 1990 World Series, Jose Rijo.
That's all reaction right there.
Now Alex Gonzalez. Fly ball straight away center field. Lofton has room. One away. It is hard to believe that we are in the same venue just based on how quiet it was, or is now, as opposed to when this game got started about 25 minutes ago.
Mark Redmond is not a good bunter.
And with Jeff's knee or whatever's going on with him there, this is definitely an opportunity to double up here.
Bunted into the air, and Damian Miller's got it. 2 away. Let's take a look at our Sprint Virtual Manager question tonight. Very simply, can the Cubs rebound tonight? To answer the question, use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com, keyword MLB on Fox.
I think those Cub fans will be getting on there to vote.
If you had to make a prediction here, Psycho, what would you say the yes to no ratio will be on this question?
I'm going to say something like 82%. Cubs fans saying yes, yeah, they can.
All right.
Rebound.
We'll see how it turns out.
You know there's some Marlin fans out there saying, And they'll vote too.
Juan Pierre led off the game on an 0-2 pitch with a triple down the right field line. High and away, 2 balls and no strikes. It's a pretty simple formula and easy formula. If Pierre and Castillo are getting on base, the Marlins are winning games. That was the story during the regular season, and man, has it been the story here in the postseason. Line that Gonzalez, and that'll end the inning. 1 hit, 1 left. We played an inning and a half. 3-0 Marlins. A beautiful fall night in Chicago, and the Marlins in front. Game 7 of this league championship series. 3-0 on a 3-run home run by Miguel Cabrera.
Boy, we recognize that seat, don't we? That's very close to the same seat that we made famous in last night's ball game with a foul ball hit down the line with an out in the 8th inning. This is last night's ball game with Castillo hitting, the ball going into the crowd, and Steve Bartman, I tell you what, he's taking a lot of heat, but this guy took so much heat for trying to catch that ball. How many other people are trying to catch the ball? Look at the gloves, look at the hands, look at this guy reaching, this guy's reaching. Every one of those people would have done the exact same thing as Steve Bartman did. And they're feeling very lucky that their hand did not touch the ball, or else they'd have news helicopters circling around their homes tonight as well.
It's a very, very sad, sad story. Truly an indictment in so many ways of the society that we live in today. That young man could not go to work today. There were television stations, radio stations hanging out in front of his house once it was revealed what his name was. Very, very sad. Grounded foul at the third base line.
All the people out there that have said that they would have let the ball drop or they would not try to catch it are hypocrites. Everyone would have tried to catch it.
Here's a statement from the lifelong Cub fan. I had my eyes glued on the approaching ball the entire time and was so caught up in the moment I didn't even see Alou, much less that he may have had a play. And I thought for 1 second the ball was playable, and had seen him approaching, I would have done whatever I could to get out of the way. And certainly we are thinking about him tonight, and quite honestly continue to hope and pray for nothing but good things for him, and hope somebody doesn't get so far carried away with being upset about what happened that they would think about doing anything harmful to that young man. Popped up to the right side. Let's go downstairs and welcome in Josh Lewin.
Hey, Tom, and just to echo what you were talking about, Mr. Bartman had his phone disconnected by 8 a.m. this morning. And the credit should go to the security staff led by Mike Hill here at Wrigley Field last night. They did a wonderful job shielding the young man on his way out of here, protected him. And it was a pretty unruly scene, as you guys are well aware last night.
Josh, thank you very much. Great to have you with us during this league championship series. 1 away in the inning, and Eric Karros, the batter, he looks at a strike. Karros 2 of 10 in the series.
There is one way that Mr. Bartman will be let off the hook, and that is if the Cubs win this Game 7. You'll see that kid on the Jay Leno show. Letterman.
Shot into right field, a base hit by Karros.
The one guy in the lineup that gets it more than anybody else as far as taking Redmond the other way. Let the ball get deep into the strike zone and then shoot it into right field. Been doing that in the entire series. Castillo has robbed him of a couple base hits by his positioning over there. He almost got to that one.
1 on, 1 out, and Alex Gonzalez digging in. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Gonzalez, 7 of 24 in the series, has 3 home runs. Oh, and 2. Well, if any team would realize how quickly a 3-0 lead can evaporate, it would be the Chicago Cubs. They saw it front and center in the 8th inning here last night. They trail by 3 tonight, but we're only in the last of the 2nd inning. 1-2 on Gonzalez.
Get back to Karros. I agree with you, Steve. He actually had the best batting average against left-handers, and it usually goes hand in hand throughout the league. And lefties like to pitch away. Batted .366 against lefties.
In the air, right center field. Pierre on the run, and it's up against the ivy. On his way to third, Karros are going to hold him there on a double by Alex Gonzalez.
Pierre was covering so much ground out there. I think Eric Karros did a great job of rounding second. But then Pierre almost put on a burst of speed like he was going to catch it. That ball away, hit the ball the other way. That's got to be the formula for the Cubs if they want to do damage. Pierre almost got to that ball. Watch him go around. Then he stops because it almost looked like Pierre was going to get to it. That made him have to stop at third base.
It's a big at-bat right here for Damian Miller and the Cubs. Runners at second and third, only 1 out in the inning, and Miller down a strike. Florida playing the infield back, conceding the run. And it's 0-2.
See, this is where Damian has to realize with Wood on deck, he's not going to get anything to hit. And obviously what Redmond's going to do is just feed off of his aggressiveness, and he threw 2 changeups out of the zone, and he's 0-2.
And it looked like on both swings, especially the first pitch, Al, Damian Miller was trying to pull the ball. You really have to shorten down and protect.
Miller laid off that one down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Miller only 2 of 8 in the series, just 3 of 19 in the postseason. Side will bring in a run. Lowell will throw out Miller. It's a 3-1 ball game. Carroll scoring, and Gonzalez advances to third. Now Kerry Wood, a very good hitting pitcher. Went 10 for 61 during the season, hit a couple of home runs. And in game 1 of the division series, Wood with the big 2-run double off Russ Ortiz. Out of play.
Now Damian Miller did a nice job of adjusting after going down 0-2. Thought about what was going on up there with an open base, and then made sure he put the ball in play to get the run home. To Kerry Wood. And again, foul
out on a play first base side. Redmond ahead at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Talked a great deal about these Cub pitchers. They swing the bat. Wood, Pryor, Zambrano. Wood got a good pitch to hit out over the plate right there and fouled it back.
Boy, if he was a number 5 hitter in the lineup, you'd look at that pitch and say, he got away with a mistake right there. That ball up a little bit, but doesn't have a whole lot on it. You remember, Redmond's fastball is 4 to 6 miles an hour slower than Josh Beckett's changeup. Beckett's changeup at about 90. Redmond's fastball right around 84, 85.
3-2 to Wood.
It's a great at bat for Woody. Even if he doesn't get it hit, he's up to 43, 44 pitches. As the pitcher up there, you want to make the opposing pitcher throw more pitches.
In the air, left center field. Kerry Wood plays long ball.
Tommy, Kenny Lofton did a great thing right there by stepping back out. We're going to watch Kerry Wood hammer this pitch right down Broadway. Talk about a pitcher helping himself out. He knew it was gone as soon as he hit it. Lofton stepped in the box and then stepped back out to make sure that the crowd kept cheering. The best thing that the Cubs can do right now is get this crowd back into it.
That is the first home run by a pitcher in League Championship Series play since they went to a best-of-7 LCS. The last was by Cub pitcher Rick Sutcliffe in 1984. To Lofton. We'll do it again. I think it's safe to say the crowd is back in it.
The key is still going to be whether or not Wood can come out and control his slider. Because if he can't, he's not going to be leading this game. He's not going to be able to stay in this game like he is right now at 3-3.
2 to Lofton. Wayne Rosenthal on the phone to the Marlin bullpen, and that'll end the inning. But the Cubs tie the game, and Kerry Wood, who had 2 home runs during the regular season, gets his first of the postseason. got 3 runs in the top of the first. The Cubs answer with 3 in the bottom of the second. Here we go in the third. Game 7 of this National League Championship Series.
After hitting that home run, there's Kerry Wood's first warm-up pitch. Airmailed it to the backstop.
One and one to Luis Castillo. Jack McKeon told us, as did Dusty Baker, all hands on deck except for last night's starting pitcher. Mark Pryor of the Cubs, Carl Pavano of the Marlins, and already activity in the Florida bullpen. Carl Pavano started in place of Brad Penny last night. Penny beginning to throw.
Usually in a game like this, when everybody should be available, you ask who's available in the pen. More times than not, you'll get the answer, Johnny Holstaff. That means everybody.
Ground ball up the middle. Gonzalez is there. And a throwing time to get Castillo. Carlos Zambrano available in the Chicago bullpen tonight, as is Matt Clement.
Well, Woody's 2 1/3 into it. He's 52 pitches. That's not good if he wants to go deep. 33 pitches in the first inning. He's got to get a couple quick outs if he wants to go deep into this game.
Ivan Rodriguez walked and scored on the Cabrera home run in the first inning. Breaking ball in there, strike.
Rodriguez has a hit in every game of the postseason. I like that. That's what we've talked about before. Run him in off the plate, show him in, get him out away. The guy that likes the ball away, you got to be able to get in that kitchen a little bit, and then something off the plate away to get him out.
So get where you were saying about Redmond having to nibble and hit the corners. There's a fastball. He tried to get inside, and he left it middle. Pudge missing it, Fowler straight back. But when you throw 95 or better, you get away with mistakes.
And Redmond could not get away with that same type of mistake with Wood at the plate.
Slider away, and it's 2-2 on Ivan Rodriguez. In baseball jargon, they call it missing bats. And that's what power pitchers can do, even with mistakes. Miss bats.
Wood is getting closer with the location of the slider that he wants. That was better. And that's the difference too, Al. That's what you're talking about right there. There are 2 pitches. 2 of the last 3 pitches that he's thrown are the pitches that Rodriguez has been hammering the whole series. But because Wood throws at mid-90s, he's sneaking it past him. That's the pitch that's been having the Cubs get hurt with Rodriguez this whole series. Fastball, outer half. He fouled both of them off.
But a good at bat here by Rodriguez. That fastball ran in on him at 94. He was able to muscle it out of play, and will do it again at 2-2.
Yeah, you hear the expression of doubling up. A lot of times you show in. He doubled up twice in his first at bat and doubled up there, usually setting up for the slider away.
There it was. And Rodriguez gone on strikes. Third of the game for Kerry Wood. Game 7 in the NLCS tonight. Tomorrow, baseball's postseason continues at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, with a decisive Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. How about the matchup there? Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens, with a trip to the World Series on the line from the Bronx. Sports' biggest month of the year continues tomorrow, only on Fox. Now Miguel Cabrera down a strike. He fell behind. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kerry Wood, his first at bat. and then launched a missile to the seats in left center field for a 3-run home run.
And it was a missile, Tommy. Golfed this ball off his shoe tops. Pudge knew it was gone as soon as he hit it. Well, I just like the attitude of this kid. Very quiet, does his job, plays hard.
Breaking ball, strike 3 call. A 1-2-3 third for Kerry Wood. Sosa and company will back in a 3-3 game. Cubs bat last of the 3rd inning in a 3-3 game. It'll be Mark Resnick, Sammy Sosa, and Moises Alou against Mark Redmond. Resnick singled into left field his first time up. 1-1. Fan who caught the Kerry Wood home run ball.
Look at him with the rally cap on already. I love that. He got the rally cap on, and Wood took him deep. 2nd inning. There's no tomorrow. He's happy to have it.
Gonzalez. 1 away. Sammy flied out to Cabrera in right field in the 1st inning.
Sammy going the other way, deep to right. Moises Alou going the other way. Gonzalez the other way for a double. Pretty good game plan against Mark Redmond. Keep the ball in the middle of the field into the opposite field gap.
Redmond has shown of all the Cub right-handed batters, the one with the greatest amount of frequency he has come in on in his 2 starts in this series is Sammy Sosa. They're doubling up. 2-1.
Go ahead and show inside as long as you miss inside. Not necessarily trying to throw a strike in there, as Al has talked a lot about setting the guy up, throwing in there. You don't want to throw a strike so that you can get him out or throw a strike on the next pitch.
That was the pitch he struck Sosa out with in game 3.
It's a curveball, slow, 71 miles an hour, much slower. Sammy just swinging out of his shoes. It's coming down and into him. Tom, the reason why he's coming in, because Sammy's notoriously been a guy who likes to go to right center. As you see there, dives that over. Yeah, it was up and in a little. But a lot of his home runs go to right center. It's just good call.
Yeah, we've seen some stairs. Sammy did it. We've seen it in the other league championship series, but we've said it a lot. If you can't pitch in there, you're not going to win. You have to be able to keep a hitter honest up there. You'll get your brains beat in as a pitcher if you just try to stay away all day long or try to trick guys. Have to be able to get in there and get the guy off the plate.
Redmond fell down. He lost his footing as that ball came out of his hand. And Sosa reaches with 1 out here in the 3rd.
Brad Penny jumping up and getting ready to get loose.
Alou hit the ball very hard, as Steve mentioned a moment ago, into right center field his first time up, which ended the opening inning. 0-1 low and away.
Moises Alou is a guy that can think into the opposite field, stay there, and if he gets fooled, he has the hand quickness and the power to pull a ball that's up in the strike zone out of the ballpark to left field.
Pulls it into left field. Looking up Kona. Cubs lead by 2.
we're talking about. Thinking the other way, but a ball up in the strike zone, a hanger. Looked like a breaking pitch to me. Thinking opposite field, but getting fooled just a little and pulling the ball to left field for a home run. Serious strength, tremendous bat speed from Moises Alou.
Ramirez drives it the other way, and Cabrera has to go in the air to get it. Strike one there at Carroll's.
Boyce just got a changeup out over the plate. We've been talking about how quick his hands are. Changeup up out over is not good for a fastball hitter.
Talking to Gary Matthews before the game, he said the biggest thing that we have to do is stay off the stuff that's soft and away and down in the zone. We've got to get the ball up in the zone if we're going to have any success against Redmond. And that's what Alou did. Got the changeup, but he got one that was up. If you're thinking as a hitter about pulling that pitch, you ground out to the third baseman. If you're thinking up the middle, you get fooled just a little bit. You stay on it enough to pull it with authority.
Fly ball, short left center field. Pierre is there, and that'll end the inning. Well, the Cubs have taken their first lead of the game. The former Marlin, Moises Alou, with a 2-run blast. Game 7 of this National League Championship Series from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Glad to have you with us. The Marlins jumped out in front 3-0 in the opening inning. But the Cubs have stormed back. An RBI ground out by Damian Miller. 2-run home run by the pitcher Kerry Wood. And then a 2-run homer by Alou. Lee is shattered back. Grounds out to Montano.
There's the fan that caught Moises Alou's home run ball getting dragged out of there so he can not only hang on to the ball, but his life as well. Santa Claus was out there too.
0-1 to Mike Wood. Only 8 times in postseason history has a team won a series after trailing 3 games to 2, and won games 6 and 7 on the road, which is of course what the Florida Marlins are trying to do here. It's happened 6 times in the World Series, once in the ALCS, and only once in the NLCS. It was 1991 when the Braves did it over the Pirates.
Kerry Wood trying.
Here's a curveball, and his first start against this Marlin team, he didn't throw any curveballs. He's thrown a few now.
Ramirez backs up on it. 2-0.
Kerry Wood is trying to become the greatest winning percentage pitcher of any Cub pitcher in postseason history. 3-finger Browns, 2-0 in 1908. Your favorite, Tom, Orville overall.
Yep.
2-0 in 1908.
My guy.
Your guy. And Kerry Wood, 2-0 at 2003, looking to up that percentage and be the best ever in postseason history for a Cub.
Orville overall, the original Big O, before Oscar Robertson came along out of Indianapolis.
That's just a hard name to say.
Yes, it is. 2-0 to Jeff Conine. Wood has retired 8 batters in a row, and that one chopped foul. 2 balls and a strike on Conine. Talk about a tall order for these Marlins trying to beat Pryor and Wood back to back. That has not happened all year long, either in the regular season or the postseason. The Cubs 22-8 when they have started back-to-back games this year, including the playoffs. The only time Pryor and Wood have pitched in back-to-back games, and the Cubs lost both games, came in June of last season against the White Sox. Ball forward to Conine, good at bat by the Marlin left fielder. And Wood let that at bat get away from him.
Well, he got back into the count. He went 2-0, and then threw a couple strikes. Jeff fought off a fastball. With 2 outs going down the bottom of the order, definitely that's not what you want to do, obviously, but 2 out walks aren't a good thing.
Now in this lineup, he's not too worried about walking Conine. When you have Gonzalez and Redmond hitting next, Gonzalez has done nothing in the series, and Redmond's the pitcher, and doesn't swing the bat quite as well as the opposing pitcher, Kerry Wood.
Alex Gonzalez only 2 hits and 21 at-bats in this series. He only has 3 hits in 37 at-bats during the postseason. You saw Todd Hollinsworth standing in the on-deck circle. Penny has been up a couple of times already. Check swing, fouled out of play, 0-2. Pitches for the Cub right-hander. He will throw a 77th pitch. Still ahead of Gonzalez, 0-2.
Talked about Gonzalez's struggles. That was probably the MVP of this Marlins club through the first half of the season. Had career highs in home runs with 18 and RBIs with 77. That production has gone way, way down in this series.
Hit off the end of the bat, foul and out of play. Still 0-2 on the Marlins shortstop. Wood allowed 3 of the first 4 batters in the game to reach base, including the 3-run home run by Cabrera. Only 2 have reached since. That ball lined into left field. Alou with a diving play. After 3.5 in Chicago, 5-3, Cubbies in front.
Sweet home, Chicago.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field in Chicago. Huge crowds gathered outside in Wrigleyville, as they call the neighborhood, along Clark and Addison. And then on the other corner, it's Sheffield and Waveland. Taking over now for Mark Redmond, the Game 2 starter, Brad Penny. He's had a rough postseason. Grounded down to third, foul ball. There you get a look at Sheffield, which runs beyond the right field wall. Actually, a bigger crowd, it looks like, out there tonight than Waveland Avenue beyond the left field wall.
It looks like on Waveland they're blocking them off a little bit more than on Sheffield. It looks a little bit more like a party. A block party. Come on down. There's a Cubs game going on in October.
One and two to count on Alex Gonzalez. Penny got the start in Game 2 of this league championship series. Lasted 2 innings, allowed 7 hits, 7 runs. Josh Beckett coming off that complete Game 2 hit shutout on Sunday afternoon, now beginning to throw. Ground ball to short. And Steve, there it is again. Gonzalez to Gonzalez.
Makes your job so easy.
It really does.
The only difference is the age and the nickname. Seabass.
Now, Leiter, you did a great deal of research. You brought it up last night how the Seabass nickname came about. Damian Miller digging in. Strike one.
Well, Mr. Millar apparently, as Steve says, gives a lot of nicknames, and we thought he was a fisherman, but it turns out where he's got his game face on all the time, and Kevin Millar thought that Seabass was appropriate. Apparently, Seabass have a frown all the time.
You're right.
Now, well, I talked to Kevin Millar after they originally shaved their heads after they got beat a couple of games by the Oakland A's in the divisional series. They had to change their look. Millar was going for the mullet look. First did the crew cut, then shaved his head completely. Got the rest of the guys on the team to do it as well. And Gina Millar, Kevin's wife, had a frown on her face when he came home from work too. She had her game face on when she saw him second time around.
I don't think he nicknamed her Seabass.
I think she nicknamed, yeah. There was probably a lot of nicknames flying around that day.
1-2 on Damian Miller. Breaking ball popped up. A long run for Pierre, but he's there 2 away. Coming up this week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, Brett Favre and the Packers try and rebound from a heartbreaking loss when they take on Mark Bolger and the high-flying Rams. Then the Buccaneers trying to make it 2 in a row. Taking on the Niners or other regional action. Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. The biggest stories are in the NFC, and the NFC is on Fox. Wood sharply grounded. It looked like he got a piece of Penny's glove, and he goes to Castillo, and that'll end the inning.
Give him an assist.
Good, solid, perfect inning for Penny out of the bullpen. We're back after a break from your local Fox station. Top half of the 5th inning, Game 7 of this National League Championship Series. The Marlins jumped in front of Kerry Wood on a 3-run home run by Miguel Cabrera in the opening inning. Well, the Cubs got 3 in the second inning, including a 2-run home run by Wood. They took the lead on a 2-run home run by Moises Salud.
As mentioned of Kerry Wood introducing the curveball, he didn't throw it in the 3rd inning. If you see his grip, the curveball is about 7 miles an hour slower than his slider. See his hand around it, you pull down more, and it's more of a 12 to 6er. He threw a curveball to Conine, and here's a curveball that stays on the inside part of the plate and locks him up. It's important that I see it because he's primarily been a fastball slider up to this point. And with the curveball, it's about 19 miles an hour slower than his fastball, where the slider is about 9 or 10. So the speed differentiation will get these guys off, especially if they haven't seen it prior to these last couple innings.
Ryan Banks to pinch hit for Brad Penny. And then we roll over to the top of the order, Josh Beckett. A complete game shutout in Game 5 in Miami. And on 2 days rest, he will come on to pitch here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-1 to Brian Banks.
I think the other thing to think about with the curveball and the fact that Kerry Wood is throwing him is that he had struggled with the location of the slider. A different pitch to throw for a strike. He's starting to throw that slider now better and better locations.
Banks only 1 at bat in this series and 0 for 3 in the postseason.
This could be a big change for the Marlins. Brad Penny had struggled in this series, but in that inning got the Cubs out 1-2-3, but unfortunately the inning previous the Florida Marlins went out 1-2-3, and that's why you have to have a pinch hitter right now, because Brad Penny's spot was up in the order. they could have gotten past his spot in the order, he might still be pitching in this game. Instead, now you have to bring Beckett in maybe earlier than you wanted to.
3-1 to Banks. And Wood going to work. All 4 up and in. And the tying run will come to the plate here in the 5th inning. Al, you've shown a lot of us and a lot of the folks that have been watching this series how to throw the various pitches. Talk about the curveball.
Well, the curveball is a little deeper in your hand, but the curveball is how it comes out of your hand. It usually starts behind and you pull down through the ball so that the pitch has bigger break and it basically drops more. A slider is more of a fastball, and you turn your wrist, make sure your hand's behind the ball, you turn your wrist down through the ball, thus a fastball velocity almost, and breaks late. Curveball starts behind your head, fastball in front.
Pierre, first pitch swinging after Banks had just drawn a walk. Pierre retired, 1 away.
See if we can get Kerry Wood behind. Yeah, this is a good pitch right here. Behind his back, you already have your hand cupped in or tucked. And by that, it's slower because you're choking it more, and you get bigger break and also a better break, meaning from, say, a clock from 9 to 6. You hear that a lot. He's got a 9 to 6 curveball.
And as a hitter, what you look for is elevation in the ball. Look for the ball to go up out of his hand. Here's his hand here. Here's the ball. On a fastball, the ball comes right out of his hand on a lower plane towards you. If you recognize pitches out of a pitcher's hand, you recognize elevation for a breaking ball.
Ball 1 to Luis Castillo. It was very surprising to see Pierre come up there and first pitch hacking that at bat against Kerry Wood. Pierre has swung the bat very well against a Cub right-hander in the game here tonight, and clearly he's struggling with control in this 5th inning. He walked Banks on 5 pitches. He got a 1 pitch out with Pierre, and now 2-0 on Castillo.
And Pierre is more of a classic leadoff hitter, more so than a lot of leadoff hitters in the game today. And he is the kind of guy that you would think it's almost a no-no for him to ever swing at the first pitch. He can work the count and should every at-bat.
And it's not like he's a guy that can't hit with 2 strikes. He had the triple down the right field line with 2 strikes his first time up. Castillo taking all the way at 2-0, and it's a strike.
They've been getting Castillo out by throwing him fastballs on the inner half of the plate and letting him just bounce balls to the shortstop.
Up and in. Castillo to the deck, and it's 3 balls and a strike.
This will scare you. Wow. That is a pitch that you literally hear buzzing by your ears as you're trying to get out of the way of it. And it's not a pretty sound.
3-1. And there's strike. Beckett ready to go.
Got his trusty bottle of water with him.
Still 3-2 on Castillo. One out here in the Florida 5th inning. This will be the 91st pitch for Wood.
Remember, we showed you how shallow Moises Alou plays Castillo in left field. Doesn't think he can hit it over his head over there.
Ball 4, a pair of walks in the inning. And that will happen from time to time for Kerry Wood. He walked 100 batters this season in 211 innings. And now the Marlins knocking on the door with 2 on and 1 out in the heart of the order coming up.
That at bat there was similar to Louis' at bat in the 8th last night. He fought a couple tough pitches, good eye, swung at the pitches that were over the plate, and he worked the walk. That was a great at bat by Louis Castillo.
Now Ivan Rodriguez, 9 RBIs in the series, 15 in the postseason. Hammered it down the left field line. It'll go to the warning track, but Lou able to cut it off. 1-run scores are going to hold up Castillo on an RBI double by Rodriguez, who has a base hit in every postseason game this year. 16 runs batted in. A 5-4 Cub lead.
Rodriguez sort of casts out and around this pitch, but it works out well for him. Not his classic inside-out swing. That's the breaking ball that you talked about, Al. Gets out in front of it and hooks the ball to left. Moises Alou maybe saved a run here by this move right here. Getting onto the ground, stopping it. If that ball squeaks by him to the outfield wall, the runner would score all the way from first base. That's Luis Castillo with good speed.
How good has Ivan Rodriguez been in this postseason with runners in scoring position in the division series against the Giants, here in the LCS against the Cubs? 9 for 16 in those situations with 14 runs batted in.
Anytime a pitcher leaves a slider or breaking ball, this is a slider. You see Miller setting up outside. Generally means your body's out in front and your arm's behind you, and you have to catch up. In order to catch up, you end up throwing it behind your head or casting it. You hear that? And as a result, instead of being able to finish it, you spin it and it stays on the inner part of the plate.
Miguel Cabrera down the strike. Get a look at the runners. Banks easily scoring from second, and Castillo easily getting to third. Tying run at third, go ahead run at second with 1 out. Rounded down to first, took a funny hop. Nice play by Karros, but Miguel Cabrera gets the job done. It's a 5-5 game. These Marlins are something.
They just keep coming at you. Watch this hop. This ball will be pool cued, and watch it bounce back to the right of Karros. You see the spin on that ball. Anybody who knows anything about putting spin on a tennis ball can tell you about the way that ball bounced to Eric Karros. Stayed with it, made the play, but a run scored. Oh, in this inning with Castillo scoring, that was a huge walk. Castillo with no power, a guy that you have to go after and make him hit.
A missile into right center field off the bat of Derek Lee, and the Marlins have recaptured the lead at 6-5. Kerry Wood has given up a 5-3 lead here in the 5th inning.
Derek Lee starting to come to life on the fastball. Fastballs were beating him early in this series.
Both games of this league championship series that Wood has started, the Cubs have gotten him a lead, and both times he has given the lead away. It came in the 7th inning of game 3, the 5th inning here in game 7. Oh, 1 to Mike Lowell. Breaking ball stayed high. Kyle Farnsworth now begins to throw in the Cub bullpen. 2 walks by Kerry Wood here in the 5th inning, and both of the walks have come in to score.
Now there's the slider. Where has that pitch been over this entire inning? Went to the curveball, it got hit. There's the slider, as you said, staying on top. You see the spin of that ball going away from Lowell, unhittable. And yet he went to the curveball more in this inning, and that's what Rodriguez hit.
Runner goes. Pitch taken away. Throw to second. They won't get Derek Lee.
The Marlins have done this all year. When they get a lead, it's not careless, but as a result of the lead, they don't care if they were to run themselves out of the inning, unlike being down. Kerry not paying that much attention. He's got 2 outs, 2 strikes on a hitter. He wants to make a good pitch. And now Derek Lee's in scoring position.
They're always on the attack.
So many ways to beat you. So many.
Derek Lee was a 30-20 guy on the season.
Strike 3 called below. That'll end the inning, but not before the Marlins score 3 times. We go to the bottom of the 5th in Game 7, and the Marlins lead by a run. Marlins with a 6-5 lead. This is exactly the kind of scenario Jack McKeon had in mind when he said Josh Beckett was available to come back on 2 days rest after that electrifying performance in Game 5. When Beckett threw a complete Game 2 hit shutout, struck out 11 Chicago Cubs. Fly ball weakly hit into shallow center field. 1 away. Al Leiter, you have come back on short rest. That's exactly what Beckett is doing. A little longer than 48 hours after finishing off the Cubs on Sunday.
Well, through a 5-day rotation during the season, this would be his side day. And side days, some people throw for 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Some guys will just air it out for 25, 35 pitches. The way in which you see whether he's going to have his stuff would be his command. As to whether he's all over the place would determine as to whether he's feeling strong or not. But I can't imagine him being in there that long.
How about velocity on the fastball? He was touching 100 miles an hour in his Game 5 start. First fastball of the day to Lofton, 93.
Well, you certainly get the feeling in spending any length of time at all with Josh Beckett that this young man is not afraid and he wants the ball. Came right out after Game 5 and said, we're going to go to Game 6, we're going to win the game, we're going to go to Game 7, and I'm going to pitch in Game 7.
He did make one youthful mistake in this city, however, after pitching the Game 5 shutout. In the off day Monday, we were at dinner, and we found out that he had called and asked for a reservation for 10 in the name of Josh Beckett. The restaurant said, we don't have any room.
Breaking ball away.
And the wrong name to be thrown around this town after a 5 and the Game 5 shutout that he threw. You don't stroll into Chicago and ask for dinner reservations.
Yeah, this ain't South Beach. 2-2. Breaking ball to right field, and Cabrera with a diving play and came up with it cleanly for the 2nd out of the inning. The more you watch him, the more you like him.
This kid is a flat-out athlete out there. Watch him dive. Let's see if he lands on his hands. That's a great play right there. Good shot for the youngsters. Watch him backhand the ball, then turn his hand over to land on it. If you hit your elbow there, you'll lose the ball. You must land on your hands when you dive for a ball.
Now Sammy Sosa, of course, Beckett ran a fastball up and in on Sosa that Sammy didn't like, and he stings this ball into right center field. Cabrera going back, runs it down in front of the ivy, and that'll end the inning. So Beckett retires his side in order. We play 5 in Game 7. Marlins 6, Chicago 5. National League Championship Series Game 7 here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. A back and forth game thus far. Kerry Wood still on the mound, and it's strike 1 to Jeff Conine. The Marlins jumped in front 3-0 in the first inning off Wood. The Cubs tied the game in the bottom of the 2nd inning. An RBI ground out by Damian Miller, a 2-run home run by Kerry Wood. Moises Salou gave the Cubs a 5-3 lead with a 2-run homer in the 3rd. 2 walks, a double, a ground out, and a single. Scored 3 runs for the Marlins in the 5th. And that's where we stand here in the 6th, 0-2 to Conine.
I think it's important for Wood to have a low pitch count in this inning, and it's important for the Florida Marlins to be patient, foul pitches off, make him work. Their objective in this inning is to get Wood out of this game.
Pitch number 104 coming up from Kerry Wood. Still 0-2 to Conine.
Fouling pitches off.
Conine very quietly has really had a nice series. He has 9 hits and 22 at-bats with a home run, 3 runs batted in. He's been on base twice tonight. Was on base twice last night at a sac fly RBI. Base hit center field. He's on for the 3rd time in a game tonight. Here is tonight's WebMD health report. A.J. Burnett. Boy, what a future he has, but out with a Tommy John surgery since the end of April. Corey Patterson, another enormously talented center fielder for the Cubs, out with a torn knee since July. And Tony Womack, the former Arizona Diamondback star of the World Series 2 years ago, out with elbow surgery. Saw Remlinger headed for the Cub bullpen and begins to throw. Alex Gonzalez first pitch swing. Fly ball to Kenny Walker on the way. And Josh Beckett will bat.
That at bat will help Wood, a guy that you want to put the ball in play. Swings at the first pitch. Got to try to dispose of Beckett in about 3 pitches.
Now, when you're talking about young pitchers, and certainly Josh Beckett, A.J. Burnett, among others, are very much the future of this Florida Marlins franchise. Beckett obviously wants the ball. He's going to take the ball. But are you risking hurting a pitcher by bringing them back in this kind of situation on 2 days rest?
It all depends how many pitches he throws and how many innings he's in. You look at it this way: you have to win tonight. I would base it on how many pitches he's thrown, what he's accustomed to. He's mechanically sound. He's strong. He's young. I wouldn't abuse him with a lot of pitches, but I think it's all based on what you see and how it looks. Remember, whoever loses here, they're not going to pick up a ball until sometime in February. You got a lot of rest.
Larry Rothschild coming out to the mound. The same can be said about Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood. I mean, they have averaged the most pitches per start of any 2 pitchers in Major League Baseball. Kerry Wood, including this postseason now, over 4,000 pitches. Mark Pryor, 3rd on that list.
Again, it goes back to knowing your pitcher. Your pitching coach knows what he's all about, the training staff, his workout routine, how hard he works, how strong his legs are. Does he take care of his rotator cuff and everything else?
Beckett puts down the bunt and foul. 2-1.
Now, Tommy, you were talking about both of these staffs and how young they are. The Marlins actually have 84 wins from pitchers that are 30 years old or less. That's first in the major leagues. The Cubs are actually 5th on that list. It's a lot of wins from guys that aren't very old.
Stabbed at it, missed it. 2-2. I think that number you just gave, Steve, would surprise a lot of people. If you walked around to most people and said, staffs 30 and younger, starting staffs after Oakland, most would say the Cubs would be next in line. Not so.
They would be wrong.
Beckett gone on strikes. Six strikeouts tonight for Kerry Wood. He's walked 4. 3 of the 4 batters that he has walked tonight have scored.
Well, you hear all the time as a pitcher, walks will kill you, and it's obvious in tonight. And you're just basically given a free runner. And with guys like Pierre and Castillo and their ability as a team, the Marlin team, to manufacture runs, go the other way, you're playing with fire, it's dangerous.
Smoked into right field again on the first pitch by Juan Pierre. And making the turn and going to third, Conine, as Sosa dropped the ball in right field. Mike Conine had made up his mind already that he was going to test Sosa.
I don't think they'll score an error right there. I'm every bit as surprised as you are, Tom, that Pierre swung at that first pitch. Hits it in the right field. Conine's going to make that turn and go on to third. Sammy then bobbles the ball, gets it back in. No more harm done. I just really figured that would be an at-bat for Juan Pierre to get Wood out of this game and really build up some more pitches.
Well, Wood is out of the
game. It worked anyway.
Yep. Certainly a disappointing effort tonight by Kerry Wood. He is gone after 5 2/3 innings, trailing 6-5. Farnsworth comes on from the bullpen. Top half of the 6th inning, the Marlins lead 6-5 in Game 7 of this National League Championship Series, and Kyle Farnsworth takes over on the mound for Kerry Wood. Farnsworth knocked around here last night. Ball 1 low and away. He came in replacing Pryor in that 8-run 8th inning. Walked 2 batters intentionally, allowed a bases loaded 3-run double to Mike Mordecai, and then got charged with a run when Remlinger came on, and allowed a run-scoring single to Juan Pierre. Runner goes first to second. Off the glove of Farnsworth. Everybody safe, and the Marlins tack on a run. Castillo is second RBI of the series. Conine scores. 7-5 Florida.
Well, this is a chance to be a double play ball if you let this ball go. Someone's covering second base. Or just get 1 out here with 2 outs. Someone's got to make that play. Ozzie Guillen would tell you as a shortstop to let the ball go up the middle. He didn't never like his pitcher catching the ball when it's back at him. One of your middle infielders would get it. This is a ball that's handleable. Just catch it and throw the guy out at first.
This is a huge moment in this ball game. I know we're only in the 6th inning, but you've got the Marlins' best run producer in the postseason already leading by 2, coming to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. Fouled back out of play. Rodriguez in his career is 2 of 5 against Farnsworth with a home run. Pierre and Castillo aboard with 2 away. Fouled out of play, and it's 0-2. Farnsworth, very much a power pitcher. Does he go fastball on the outside corner? That's flirting with trouble with Ivan Rodriguez, the way he's hitting this postseason. We'll see. He does, and got him looking. The Marlins had a run, middle of the 6th, 7-5 Florida. Game 7 of the National League Championship Series from Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Cubs led this series 3-1. Josh Beckett threw the complete game shutout in Game 5 to make it 3-2. The Marlins came up with an 8-run 8th inning, rallying from behind to beat Mark Pryor in Game 6 last night, 8-3. The Marlins lead 7-5. Alou Ramirez and Karros up against Josh Beckett, his 2nd inning out of the bullpen. Fly ball right field. Cabrera is there, 1 away. Let's take a look at our in-game box score for the Chicago Cubs, brought to you by AT&T Wireless. The 2-run home run by Alou gave the Cubs a 2-run lead in the 3rd. They fell behind 3-0 until the bottom of the 2nd, and Kerry Wood hit a 2-run home run for the Marlins. Solid up and down the order. 7 hits, 7 runs the Marlins scored against Kerry Wood in his 5 2/3 inning. Only once all year did Kerry Wood allow 7 runs in a game. The other time on the 4th of July in a loss to the St. Louis Cardinals. the 4 walks by Wood, 3 of the 4 scored, including 2 big ones in the 5th. On the ground, diving play by Lowell to his feet, has time, 2 away.
They cannot overlook the defense that's being played by the Florida Marlins. Lowell just a step and a half and then a dive. Gets up, makes a play. That takes away a hit. Cabrera's defense in right field today has been outstanding all day long. Defensively, this team for the Florida Marlins never beats itself.
Derek Karros. Check swing and that pitch in the dirt. 1-1 to Karros.
This situation all series long. Dusty Baker has used Randall Simon to play first base against the right-handers. Eric Karros stays in the game to face Beckett in Game 7.
Hardy on a fastball is Karros. That fastball at 95. That's the first one that Beckett really cut loose.
Well, if he keeps showing Jack McKeon that he's pitching the way he is, he threw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball away to Ramirez, came back with a changeup to get the ground ball to Lowell. He went changeup, curveball, 95-mile-an-hour fastball here to Karros. He's pitching. This guy's special.
That fastball at 94 popped up in the foul ground, not a play.
He learned an awful lot from that first game here when he came out just throwing all the fastballs. And now he's pitching. He's using all of his pitches, locating his fastball, throwing off-speed pitches and fastball counts. Very difficult for anybody to hit that.
One-two to Karros. Fastball just off the corner. You take away the 4 runs Beckett allowed in the first inning of Game 1. He has only allowed 2 runs in his last 15 innings on the mound in this series. 2-2. Fouled out of play. And how ironic it would be coming into a series where Pryor and Wood have gotten all the pub as being the top 2 young pitchers in the game today, that take away 1 bad inning, the first inning of this LCS, and Josh Beckett may turn out to be the best young pitcher in this series. Gone swinging Karros on a changeup, and that'll end the inning. 7-5 Florida, back after a word from your local Fox station. They're ready for a celebration here in Chicago, trying to get to the World Series for the first time since 1945. But the Florida Marlins have other thoughts. They're trying to get back to the series. Since winning it back in 1997, just the 5th year after the franchise was born. Kyle Farnsworth on a relief of Kerry Wood. A check swing by Miguel Cabrera, down and away from him. 1-1 to Cabrera, who has knocked in 4 of the 7 Florida runs tonight. First outrider when you were pitching for the Florida Marlins in 1997. That team, like this team, got into the playoffs as the wild card. Last season, both wild card teams advanced to the World Series. And a chance for it to happen again this year should the Marlins in Boston advance. 2-2.
And this wild card team, the Marlins, had 4 more wins than the Cubbies
during the regular season.
During the regular season.
Played in a tougher division.
away by Cabrera. When Jack McKeon was hired, taking over the Marlins on the 11th of May, many in the baseball world, even those that knew about McKeon and what a solid baseball man he has been for better than 52 years, laughed, saying, why would you hire McKeon at 72 years old to take over a very young Marlin team? Well, obviously Larry Beinfest, the general manager, and Jeff Loria, the owner, knew what they were doing. When McKeon took over, they lost 7 of their first 10 games. After that, they had the best record in baseball from the end of May through the regular season. 30 games over 500. McKeon, in his 52nd year in professional baseball, is either a player, a manager, or a general manager. Managed in the minor leagues for 15 years. Another good at bat by Miguel Cabrera, still 2-2.
I think he's been brilliant through this whole thing. This whole golly gee shucks, why are we here? The mighty Cubs with Wood and Pryor, and everybody's got us ruled out, and we have nothing to lose, and all that. I think that is just a bunch of stuff that he wants to tell everybody else, but that Marlin team doesn't think that at all.
Bouncer over the mound. Gonzalez behind the bat, and just out at first. Cabrera thought he beat the throw by Gonzalez. We talked to Jack McKeon about the pressure on his ball club, and here's what he had to say.
There's no pressure. As you know, we have to win. We've been the underdog since we started. I think the guys relish on that, being in that position, and we feel that the pressure is going to turn over to the other club. Let them. They're the ones that have. They're the ones that are supposed to win. But on the other hand, these guys are tough, and they're mentally tough, and they're not going to give in, and they're going to be up there proving that they can compete with anybody in the league, and basically we have.
McKeon is such a joy to just sit down and talk to. Knows so much about the game. Talked about all the various positions he's held in the game, including the general manager of the San Diego Padres for 11 years, including that trip to the NLCS in 1984 when his Padres beat the Cubs. 0-2 on Derek Lee. Later, Jack managed in Kansas City, Oakland, San Diego. Should have never been let go in Cincinnati. He did a superb job in the Queen City. Check swing, did he go? No. So Chuck Merrill.
Tom, the way that this pitch came in here, just slider off the outside part of the plate. Lee looks like he tried to offer and then hold back. The bat head never really came out to make an offer at that pitch. The way that Cabrera bounced out short to first was the same play that Farnsworth muffed in last inning and cost him an extra run.
Lee going on strikes, 2 away in the 4-7.
Farnsworth pitched him great, and all along this whole series they've been busting him up and in. This is a fastball down and in, the pitch that he hit last night. But what set that up was he threw him slider, 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 and he took a 0-1 slider right down the middle. To me, as a pitcher, I see that. Say he's looking for fastball. That was a great setup as a result of the 3 sliders prior to that pitch.
0-1 to Mike Lowell. We'll be keeping it here tonight for the 7th inning stretch. And they've got a pro up here tonight singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Billy Corrigan, platinum rock recording artist from the Smashing Pumpkins. Billy corrects me, Smashing Pumpkins. 0-2 to Mike Lowell. But nonetheless, a big leaguer in the booth here tonight. Steve, I can't believe they don't have you singing in Game 7.
I can.
Breaking ball away, 1-2 to Lowell. Try the breaking ball down and away again, and the count even up. McKeon has made so many subtle and not so subtle moves throughout the course of this series, including putting Lowell back in the lineup, telling Miguel Cabrera, I need you to go from third to left to right after playing short your whole career, bringing Beckett back here tonight, choosing Pavano over Penny last night. Into right field, it will fall in front of Sosa. 2-out single by Lowell.
Look at the location. They're trying to go away right there. That ball tails back out over the middle of the plate. Still don't understand why they don't try to bury Lowell inside with the hand injury. Makes it a lot tougher to get to a pitch in. They've stayed away from him, and he's hurt him.
Credit to Lowell. That is vintage Lowell. He got 0-2 behind. Farnsworth slider, fought off the fastball inside. He's a great hitter. To battle as much as he did against Farnsworth, who throws as hard as he does, with good sliders, good hitters fight off the good pitcher's pitch to wait for that pitch that he hit.
Larry Rothschild coming out. A lot of similarities between the stuff of Kyle Farnsworth and the stuff of Kerry Wood. And Jeff Conine had 3 excellent bats in this game against Kerry Wood. Singled in the second, walked in the fourth, singled and scored in the sixth. Dave Veers will begin to throw down in the Cub bullpen. Farnsworth's spot due up third in the bottom of the 7th inning. Breaking ball in, 2-0. There's a big pitch coming up right here. Conine swinging the bat very, very well here in the last 3 games of this series. Breaking ball, and it's a good one. 2-1. Base hit into center field. Back-to-back 2-out singles for the Marlins off Farnsworth here in the 7th from Lowell and Conine. Already with a 2-run lead, and Alex Gonzalez coming up. And that's going to do it for Farnsworth. Gonzalez with big-time numbers against Farnsworth in his career. It's a matchup Dusty Baker told us before the game he would try and avoid. So he'll summon Veers from the bullpen. 2 on, 2 out in the 7th. The Marlins lead by 2. Marlins lead in the 7th inning, Game 7 of this National League Championship Series, 7-5. They have Mike Lowell at second base, Jeff Conine at first, and the new pitcher Dave Veers.
Beers has struggled in the postseason with that ERA up over 6.7.
Gonzalez 0 for 10 in his career against Veers. Ball one inside. Alex 0 for 3 in the game tonight. Lined out to left field on a diving catch by Alou in the fourth. 2 for 23 in the series. Two and 0.
Gonzalez is the type of hitter. We told you before, 18 home runs on the season, a lot of those in the first half. That'll hit home runs against a guy like Veers, a guy that does not throw that hard. Veers has had trouble with hanging his split finger. Fastball in the low to mid 80s.
Gonzalez got a good pitch to hit right there at 2-0 and fouled it straight back. Now the Marlins have not had anybody getting loose in their bullpen. Josh Beckett waits on deck.
There's the home run swing that he tried to go right there. Once again, Cub pitchers not finding their location. That ball was supposed to be away, and yet it was right down the middle.
Two and two.
Veers get back into the at-bat. You've got Beckett on deck. As Tom said, nobody's warming up. You've got the pitcher who you have to assume can't hit. Even though he's 0 for 10, you still would like to think that you got a better shot against Beckett than you do a starting player.
Throw something in the dirt here, get him chasing a split finger.
Broken bat flare in the short left center field. Lofton coming, dives, does not get it. Conine scores. They're going to wave around the next runner. It is Conine behind roll, throw down to third, and Gonzalez is out. He slid by the bat. 2-run score, and the Marlins open a 9-5 lead on a broken bat floater off the bat of Alex Gonzalez.
Lofton with an outstanding effort right there. You got to try to dive for that ball. And on in to score.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out in the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I ever get back up this root for the Cowboys. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out in the ball game. Let's get some runs!
It's game 7 of the National League Championship Series. Alex Gonzalez, a fly ball to deep center, and Pierre is there against the ivy. One pitch, one out for Josh Beckett, beginning his 3rd inning out of the Florida bullpen. He is not allowed a base runner.
The Cubs have stuck to their game plan of going up the middle and the other way. They just haven't been able to find gaps out there. Pierre has run down a few balls in center field. Cabrera run down more than a few balls in right field. Outstanding defense for the Marlins continues.
Tom Goodwin to pinch hit for Damian Miller. First pitch fastball, strike 1 from Beckett. Beckett, only 23 years young, out of Spring, Texas. The Marlins' first-round pick, the 2nd pick overall in the June '99 draft. the USA Today High School Pitcher of the Year in 1999. That one out of play, and 1-2 on Tom Goodwin.
Yeah, you hear about polished and complete and pitchers that have it all. And aside from just a great arm and a great delivery, this kid at an early age learned how to pitch. Use all of his pitches. Right there was a perfect sequence. I mean, he's been doing it the whole time here, but he throws back-to-back changeups to Goodwin while throwing still in the mid-90s. It just makes all of your other pitches that much better.
And now is it safe to say that Beckett is out there with even a little less than his best stuff here, but still pitching. That fastball not rushing up there in the mid to upper 90s regularly as it did on Sunday in Miami. Hit 95 there. They appealed, and Mike Everett said he went around. Strike 3.
I don't know about that one, Tommy. Al, I don't know. You're a pitcher. You like to get the call. It didn't really break his wrist through there. The bat head is making no real effort to hit that ball.
Well, especially the ball was inside. A lot of times, guys will commit, and then as a result of it being near their head or inside, they're just trying to get out of the way.
Yeah. Swinging your hips out of the way to get out of the way of it. Not really moving your arms, but bringing the bat head with you.
Troy O'Leary will pinch hit for Dave Veers. Kyle Farnsworth in an inning allows 3 hits and 2 runs. Veers allows a big 2-run double off the bat of Gonzalez after Wood gave up 7 in 5 2/3 innings. 2-0. Farnsworth gave up 3 last night. Veers and Remlinger allowed runs in Game 5. It's not been a good series for the Chicago Cub bullpen. 2-1 to O'Leary. 2-2. The frustration and the disappointment in this ballpark and in this city from the 8th inning on here last night through the night into the morning all day today. The anticipation starting for Game 7, feeling as though you can come back and forget all about what happened here in Game 6. The Cubs fell behind in the first inning tonight, 3-0, tied the game, took the lead, but the Marlins have scored 6 times in the last 3 innings. And now long faces again. Into right field, hit pretty well. Cabrera at the wall, goodbye. Pinch hit home run. Makes it a 3-1 ball game.
O'Leary, low ball hitter, dropping the head of the bat down through the hitting zone. That ball tried to tail away from him from Beckett. Couldn't get it to the corner.
In there, a strike to Lofton.
I mean, when you look at the way this series is playing out, the Cubs are trying to make a run back into this one now, 9-6.
Off the end of the bat, fly ball on the right. Cabrera's there to end the inning. A solo home run off the bench by Troy O'Leary. We go to the 8th. 9-6, Florida. Marlins lead 9-6 as they bat in the top of the 8th inning here in Game 7 of this National League Championship Series. And And now the fourth pitcher brought on by Dusty Baker is left-hander Mike Remlinger. A new battery made as well. While Baco takes over behind the plate for Damian Miller. And Josh Beckett stays in the game. Beckett has thrown 3 innings out of the Florida bullpen, allowed only 1 base hit, the solo home run to O'Leary, and has only thrown 36 pitches in his 3 innings out of the pen.
Now, if this series stays the way it is and the Florida Marlins go on to the World Series as the representatives of National League, the game to me that really was forgotten is the game that Beckett threw, Game 5. The Cubs were up 3-1 in the series. It seemed like there was an air of it's okay if we lose one because we go back to Chicago and we have Pryor and Wood. This team has shown its resilience all series long. They've come back to win every postseason game that they've won, every postseason game except the Beckett game of Game 5 where it was a shutout. And it's like people forget about that game. Very, very important game for the Marlins to turn things around when things were headed south very quickly. And then he's back in there in tonight's ball game.
And making Remlinger work. Just getting on board, let's take a look at our game summary. Kerry Wood, 5 2/3 innings, allowed 7 hits, 7 runs, walked 4, 3 of the 4 walks scored. An all-time postseason record for home runs in a series, 23 of them. Miguel Cabrera, an LCS rookie record with 3 home runs. Kerry Wood, the first pitcher to hit a home run since Rick Sutcliffe in '84. Cabrera's done a little bit of everything here tonight, not only at the plate with 4 runs batted in, but has made some solid plays out and right.
We talked about Pierre and Castillo this entire series and having faced these guys 19 times with the Mets. Again, 4 of their 8 at-bats, they were on base, they scored twice. These 2 guys are more than just a catalyst of what they can do with the bat, also what they do at first base. They put so much attention for the pitcher to think about what he needs to do to keep them close so they get him out of scoring position. And many times, even though they don't steal a base, it gives the next batter, Pudge or Lee or Cabrera, a better pitch to hit. So much goes into that. Speed really does kill.
To take a hit away from Juan Pierre.
We've seen some great defense on both sides of these teams. Full extension from Gonzalez, coming down with the ball, once again landing on the hands. Pierre smelling a base hit and a possible double if that ball gets in the gap. And it's stolen from him right there.
Remlinger faces 2 batters, retires both batters. And Joe Borowski, the Cub closer, will come on from the bullpen. 2 down in the Florida Marlins 8th inning. Nobody on. And the Marlins in front 9-6 as Joe Borowski, the Cubs closer, takes over to face Luis Castillo.
You know, Tom, I think one of the things we talked about when this series opened, with all the 4 teams remaining in the playoffs, I really thought that the Florida Marlin team may be the most complete ball club of all of the 4. Good speed at the top of the lineup, decent power and gap power in the middle of the lineup. Two different closers where a lot of people thought that might be a disadvantage, and Jack McKeon has used it as an advantage in this series, going to both Urbina and Looper at different times. Starting pitching that can dominate at times, and yet only one win in this series from any starting pitcher on the Marlins staff.
Ground ball at Grzelcyk, and that'll do it in the 4th. Big bottom of the 8th coming up for Chicago. Grzelcyk, Sosa, and Alou against Beckett. The Cubs down 3. Sold out Wrigley Field in Chicago for Game 7 of this National League Championship Series, in the heart of the order coming up against Josh Beckett. Marlins lead 9-6. Beckett has retired 9 of the 10 batters he's faced, allowing only 1 base hit. 2-0 to Grzelcyk.
From the looks of the way Urbina's warming up, he's got the 9th. Fox is probably going to carry behind Beckett here. His pitch count is pretty high. I can't imagine him going much longer than this.
2-1. I think Beckett goes as long as until somebody gets on base.
Saw Jack McKeon waving his hand as if to say, come on, get him going down there. Fly ball straight away center field. Pierre racing back at the track. Got it.
How many times have we seen that in this ball game? 5 or 6 balls hit to the warning track to the opposite field. A lot of Cub hitters that just quite didn't get enough of the ball to get it either off the wall or out of the park in that opposite field gap.
Beckett's up to his 40th pitch, and I would say if this was his side day, obviously the intensity and mindset and everything else is a lot more than just throwing a side. I can't imagine him being ready if the Marlins were to go on to the World Series for Saturday. I don't see him as a Saturday starter based on all this work.
It was a 3-run lead last night for the Cubs. There was 1 out and nobody on in the 4th to 8th inning. The Cubs were 5 outs away from going to the World Series. Now the Cubs with 5 outs to play with in the 8th inning. Josh Beckett turning into the pitching star of this series. Swing and a miss by Sosa, 2-2. He has only allowed 3 runs in his last 17 innings of work.
That's a great spot right there. If you saw the 2-1 fastball, he said, here, Sammy, hit it. With a 3-run lead, you can do that. He's got the luxury.
Did it again, got him looking, strike 3. Boy, this kid is something.
He just abused Sammy Sosa right there on that at-bat. First pitch, fastball down, he missed. Came back away. Now Sammy's licking his chops, goes up and in, can't catch up. Right back in there, doubling up, and then Paint on the outside corner threw him nothing but fastballs and said, let's go.
Moises Alou, 1 of 3 in the game, and a 2-run home run back in the Cub 3rd inning that gave the Cubs a 5-3 lead. And how about Josh Beckett, the 23-year-old coming back on 2 days rest, 4 innings out of the bullpen, only 1 hit. We go to the 9th, 9-6, Marlins in front. Time to take a look at our results from our Sprint Virtual Manager question. You logged in and logged on. Can the Cubs rebound tonight? 74% of you said yes, they can. If they're going to do so, it'll have to be in the bottom of the 9th inning. Last season in the World Series, Dusty Baker's San Francisco Giants. had a 3-2 lead against the Anaheim Angels. And that faithful 8th inning on the Scott Spezio home run turned the entire series around. Anaheim went on to win the 7th game and win the World Series. Dusty Baker's club in this series led 3-1. Beckett shut him out Game 5 in Florida on Sunday. They had Pryor and Wood coming back to Chicago with a 3-2 lead. Ivan Rodriguez, a fly ball into right field, will chase Sosa to the track, 1 away. If you weren't with us earlier, we mentioned that Pryor and Wood, pitching on back-to-back days, had not lost back-to-back games since last summer during the Windy City series against the Chicago White Sox. They had not lost back-to-back starts this year all year. Pryor got beat last night. Right now, Wood in line for a Game 7 loss. Miguel Cabrera. 1 hit in the game, but the 20-year-old Venezuelan with 4 runs batted in. It's interesting to note that since 1995, with the advent of the wild card, only 1 time has the team with the best record in baseball won the World Series. The 1998 Yankees. 2 wild card teams have won the World Series since 1995. The Marlins of '97, the Angels last year. Dusty Baker knows all about that 1997 Florida Marlins team. Dusty was managing the San Francisco Giants that season. The Marlins played the Giants in the opening round of the division series and swept them 3 in a row. But that was just the first step of that Florida Marlin club, advancing on to the World Series, colliding with the high-octane offense of the Cleveland Indians, led by Kevin Brown and Al Leiter on the mound. And of course, they won that 7th and decisive game in the '97 series, up and into Miguel Cabrera.
And this kid gives you a good at-bat every time he steps up there. 20 years old.
In the air, right center, Walton will wave off Sosa, 2 away. In that Game 7, Craig Counsell a sac fly to tie the game. And then the Marlins won it in the 11th inning. Edgar Renteria scoring Counsell, and the celebration was on in South Florida. Al, I'm sure you remember that as though it were yesterday.
I was just watching that. What a moment. It's what we all dream about as Major League Baseball players. And well, if the score holds up, the Marlins have another opportunity to do the same thing. What a thrill.
Jeffrey Loria, the former owner of the Montreal Expos. Such a roundabout way how Loria became the chairman and CEO of the Florida Marlins. Of course, the Expos sold to Major League Baseball. John Henry, the former owner of the Marlins, bought the Boston Red Sox, and then Loria bought the Marlins from John Henry. And how strange it would be indeed should the Florida Marlins play the Boston Red Sox in the World Series. Ugueth ready in the Marlin bullpen. Only a 3-run ball game.
I want to give this opportunity to thank you guys, Tom, Steve, Fox, for allowing me to come into your world.
Been our pleasure, my friend.
I am so grateful, appreciative. I was awfully nervous that first game, but you all made it so enjoyable for me. Thank you.
We've been honored to have you. That ball smoked into right field. It'll fall and go to the wall. Derek Lee has turned around his postseason here in the last couple of ball games. Had the big 2-run double in the 8-run 8th inning last night. And Derek Lee 2 hits and an RBI here in Game 7 tonight. Now Mike Lowell. 1 of 4, singled and scored in the 7th.
And all along we were hearing that the Cubs pitchers were feeling that Lowell was behind on the fastball. The more he gets these at-bats, he's getting better and better. He's turning on some fastballs.
In the air, short center field, and Walton comes on. We head for the bottom of the 9th inning. The Chicago Cubs have not been in the World Series in 58 years. They're trying to change that in their final at-bat against Urbina. Bottom of the 9th inning, Game 7 of this National League Championship Series. The Florida Marlins with a 9-6 lead. And Jack McKeon will hand it over to right-hander Ugueth out of the bullpen. Juan Encarnacion will take over in right field for Miguel Cabrera. The Marlins trying to come back, trailing 3-1 in this National League Championship Series, and trying to win 3 straight to eliminate the Cubs. Ball 1 to Ramirez. Carros to follow, although Randall Simon stands in the on-deck circle to bat for him. And there's a strike. Urbina's only made 1 bad pitch in the series. That was in the bottom of the 9th inning of Game 1, when he hung a breaking ball that Sammy Sosa hit deep into the 9th for a game-tying home run. Other than that, he has been mighty good. 1-2 on Ramirez.
Last night, Urbina threw 16 pitches, 2 innings with 2 strikeouts. Game 7 NLCS. It doesn't matter.
Looper just in case. Yeah. 2-2. Should the Cubs lose this game, it is absolutely impossible to try and describe the disappointment that there will be in this city and its fans all across the country. Eliminating the Atlanta Braves in the division series, their first postseason series win since advancing on to the 1945 World Series. And then jumping all over the Marlins, winning 3 in a row after losing the first game. On the other side of the ledger, it's probably indescribable to tell the feelings of Jack McKeon, the oldest big league manager to reach the postseason for the first time. In 72 years, 10 months, he's nearly 10 years older than the previous holder, Bert Schotten, who was 62 years old in 1947 with the Brooklyn Dodgers. 2-2 to Ramirez. Marlins have never lost an elimination game. 2-0 in this postseason. Games 5 and 6, and of course the 97 elimination game in the World Series against Cleveland. 2-2. 3-2.
It is remarkable. Here, 10-year history with this franchise, the Florida Marlins, on the verge of going to their second World Series, and the Cubbies are waiting 58 years. It's kind of like when you're a rookie and you get the taste of postseason first year and you think it's going to happen every year. I don't know if this organization realizes how special it truly is.
Thrown behind Ramirez, and he will reach to begin the bottom of the ninth inning. And the Cubbies still breathing life as Randall Simon will come to the plate with one on and nobody out.
Well, the walks have hurt the Cubs. Leadoff walk in the ninth. Certainly not what Urbina wants to do. Get a 3-run lead.
Randall Simon to bat for Eric Karros. Swing and a miss, pulled the string on him with a changeup. 0-1 to Simon, who had the big home run in Game 3 at Pro Player Stadium, taking Kerry Wood off the hook in that game after Wood had allowed the Marlins to take the lead in the 7th inning. Oh, 2 in the 8th inning against Chad Fox. Randall Simon gave the Cubs a temporary 1-run lead. Marlins tied the game in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Cubs won it in the 11th. Did he go around? They appeal. And still waiting. Apparently the home plate umpire, Jerry Crawford, said, no, it's my call. He didn't go around.
Simon, a free swinger. He's seen 3 changeups in a row. 2 he swung at. Urbina's trying to have him chase there with a changeup off the plate.
1 on, nobody out here in the Cub 9th inning, down 3. Chased it again, and he's gone. 4 straight changeups, and Simon made an attempt to swing at each and every one of them.
You throw it in the air, he's going to swing at it. That was a great pitch by Urbina. Changeup, changeup, changeup. The idea, start over the plate and expand. That was textbook right there by Urbina.
Now Alex Gonzalez. 1 of 3, doubled and scored in the 2nd inning. Gonzalez has 3 home runs in this series. He's 0 for 4 in his career against Urbina. It's an entirely different kind of frustration, and certainly the length pales in comparison. But now you brought it up earlier about this Florida Marlin franchise having a chance to go to the World Series for the 2nd time in 10 years. But there has to be enormous frustration with a lot of the Marlin fans after what took place at the end of that '97 celebration. Because no sooner had the Champagne Drive, Wayne Huizenga, then the owner of the franchise, completely dismantled the team, breaking the hearts of so many that had jumped on board to root on the Florida Marlins.
And you lose your fan base. How do you blame the local fan base? They averaged 16,200 fans this year. That was a big backbreaker. You win the World Series and everybody's excited, and you dismantle the team completely. Can't blame the fans.
Not at all. Gone swinging Alex Gonzalez, and the Cubs are down to their final out. Urbina trying to nail it down, 1 out to go. After championships, the first set of numbers 0-0, that changed because they clinched the Central Division this year. They've waited 58 years to win a National League pennant. The third number 95 the number of years they have waited to go and win a World Series. The stars were aligned for the Cubs to erase that 58 with a 3-1 lead. But Beckett and the Marlins shut out the Cubs in Game 5. They scored 8 runs in an improbable 8th inning last night to beat Mark Prior. In the air, left field. And the Florida Marlins have come back from 3 games to 1 down to win the National League pennant. The Florida Marlins, for the second time, are going to the World Series. What an amazing story. The Marlins won it all in 1997. We mentioned earlier, from the end of May through all of June, July, August, and September, Jack McKeon's team had the best record of any team in Major League Baseball. To some, this is a surprise. To many in the National League, this comes as no surprise. Improbable, albeit after being down 3-1.
It's certainly not a surprise for me, having been with the Mets this year. They beat us 12 out of 7. The Braves, they beat the Braves head-to-head. This is a very good team. We've been talking about how they can beat you in so many different ways. I'm not surprised.
And congratulations to the Florida Marlins and their manager. One of the most likable people that has ever put on a Major League uniform, Jack McKeon. Managing in the postseason for the first time in his career, and now a trip to the Fall Classic. Josh Beckett comes off 2 days rest, goes 4 innings out of the bullpen, allows only 1 hit and 1 run, and they beat 2 of the top pitchers in all of baseball in consecutive games on the opposition's home field. Prior last night, Kerry Wood tonight.
Jack McKeon, he made all the right decisions, it seemed. Every move he made worked. These guys, he kept saying there was no quit. Great group of guys. They pulled for each other. They had bench jockeys. They had name tags at home at Pro Player Stadium where they sat. Everybody pulled for one another. Jeff Loria thrilled. He should be. Here's a guy who could have sat on his wallet, went out and got Jeff Conine and Urbina, brought in a Lenny Harris who's respected around baseball with a core group of guys that great players.